It's The Broker Show. We're talking real estate, investing, local market trends, feel-good stories, mindsets, and strategies for success. Let us know what you want to talk about, and chances are we will. Hosted by The Broker Joe and co-hosted by Etch.
Welcome to The Broker Show. It's Broker Joe. Well, hi, Etch.
What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Good.
I am Etch, and we have a fun topic for you today. Joe left it up to me to be able to choose one, and I decided to run with it. So, Joe, I hope you're ready for this one because, whoa, hey.
Hey.
You grew in the matter
Did we
of
have a
couple
guest
of
appearance?
seconds. Yeah, I think
we had a guest, didn't we?
Geez,
Okay.
little Joe.
Man, where did he go? Oh, yeah.
All right, so
Etch is going to drop a bomb on me. I have no idea what we're talking about today.
I just flashed up the title screen, so I'm gonna pop it over real quick so you don't get to,
Okay.
No,
Okay.
none
I'll
for
stay
you.
in over here. My business.
This is a topic that I think a lot of people who may be just finding us out of nowhere, maybe you're not a big investor, maybe you're somebody who is just starting out, or you're just you're looking at the tax season coming up and you're saying, I've seen a lot of people start to invest more in stocks, or invest in a business, or invest in crypto. Last week we talked about some crypto stuff. This week I want to know, Joe, how do you build wealth from scratch? How do you start with like literally saying, okay, I don't have thousands upon thousands of dollars to just toss into something. I'm somehow just squeaking by every now and then. I want to figure out a way that I can start managing my money properly. How do I make it so that I can get to the point someday where I am able to make those big decisions of saying, I'm going to drop, $8,000 on crypto, like we talked about last week. I want to get to the point where I can say, hey, I'm going to invest in a second property in real estate, or an Airbnb, or some type of passion project, a new business maybe, to get yourself out from working for the man, if you will. But it all starts somewhere. And and the reason why I bring this up is because we've been candid about your story, about how you started from literally nothing. And I don't want to sit there and make it out to be like, oh, Joe is like this multi-gazillionaire and he's so much higher than everyone else. But the whole point is that you're doing well for yourself. Mm-hmm. You've built wealth. You've built not only wealth for you and your wife, but generational wealth is something that you hear, especially when it comes to investing. So where do you start? How does that road begin? And that's something that I think for many of our listeners, people who are just tuning in for the first time, they're kind of in that rut. They're in that merry-go-round where it's just this 6-cycle carousel that just keeps on going around. And you're like, how do I get out of this? I want to start doing it. Where do I get my start?
That's a good one. This is a subject really near and dear to my heart. And honestly, it's a really big deal to me. First of all, I'm gonna quote a statistic that is very hard for people to believe or understand, but it is a reality in our world today. And the stat is that 98% of the population is either dead or dead broke by the age of 67. Okay, I believe it's 67. 98%. And so how do we beat that trend? What are the habits? What are the mindsets? What are the inroads? What are the outroads? We've talked about a lot of things in here on the show that all contribute, but I'm going to start very simple. There are 2 things that you need to do to put yourself on the path to creating wealth. And number 1, you have to find and create margin. And number 2, you have to find and create leverage, margin and leverage. So I will explain what those things are. Finding margin is the first big trick, and the vast majority of people never get past it. The reason is because the vast majority of people, there is always something that they feel like they're in desperate need of. I need this, I need that. So if you notice, and all of you, if you're listening, you know anything about business, anything about income, you'll know this is true, what I'm about to say. When a college student Let's say they turn 24 and they get their first job. Let's say they're 30 and they just got their first big raise. Let's say they're 35 and they just got promoted to manager or assistant manager. Let's say they're 40 and they just got their first job with a 401k and full health benefits and something like that, right? There's all these, and take these scenarios and spread them out. What happens is that extra margin that individual just went from, they just went from making 30,000 to 35,000. They just went from making 50,000 to 60,000. They just went from making whatever they made before to whatever they're making now. And yet there is still zero margin because there is always more that they need. There is always more that they need. And so learning to keep, let's dive right into the solution, right? So the solution for this epidemic, there is so much cultural, societal, social media pressure to perform, to assimilate to what is going on around you. Bigger house, newer car, bigger guns, better clothes, buying clothes more often, more shoes, bigger parties, a better grill, fill anything in the blank, this consumerist mindset, right? Fill anything in the blank. And I'm going to even spread it beyond that. Credit cards and the ability to go out and easily procure items that you don't have the money right now to pay for has created these margins of finance, right? You can go and drive into a car dealership and drive away with a $60,000 car with pretty bad credit. When I say pretty bad credit, in my opinion, you can't buy a house with that credit. There's no way. But you can go buy a $60,000 car that goes down 10 to 15% in value the minute you drive it off the lot. That's lost another 30% of its value within 2 to 3 years of you driving it. That to me is ridiculous. It is dangerous. It is created very bad habits and financial expectations in our society. We have no margin, Etch. People don't have margin in their life. They're saying, I'm barely making it. I've got $1,000. I got $500. I got $50 in the bank right now. And the truth is, the step up that people are looking for, the self-control they need to go A, B, C, D, E, F, to get all the way through what they need to go through to create wealth that's generational for them, for their children, and for their grandchildren, and to be able to have true freedom, right? So people talk about starting a business. You do not have a business until you can walk away from it and it still makes you money. If you can't walk away from it and it stops making you money, you don't have a business, my friend. You have a job. You've always had a job. You always will have a job. And so people want to start a business, right? And they want freedom. Well, true freedom comes when you've created a business, an environment, a culture that's sustainable, duplicatable, and you can walk away from it, right? I get really passionate about this stuff. This is a really, really big deal. So creating margin starts with, I just got a raise. I got $5,000. Now I have to create leverage, right? So you take the margin. Anyone, I promise you, anyone listening to this show can create margin today. You can go out and you can find margin right now. You can let go of something that you really don't want to. You really feel like you need. People around you think you need it. You're not going to look as cool. You're not going to sound as cool. You're not going to drive as cool. You're not going to be as cool, right? But you got to create margin somewhere, right? Find margin. So once you have the margin, now it's education time. Margin is really the easy part, the physically easy part. It's psychologically extremely challenging, really challenging, because you have to let go of things that you feel like you need. You've got to have it. You can't live without it. It's a habit. It's something you like, you enjoy, right? But you've got to let it go. Sure. You've got to let it go. You got to say no, 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 no. No matter what people are posting, no matter what's on the Insta, no matter what the neighbor's doing, no matter what sometimes your family, your friends, or other people are putting pressure on you to do, you got to say no, and you have to create margin. Now we take the margin. Now it's time to educate ourselves. Now it's time to go out into the world and say, what opportunity however small, right? You take that, let's say if you could create, let's say you have a $35,000 a year job, okay? It's below the median income. Now, there is a point in your life, I promise you, that you were making it on $30,000, right? There was a point you were making it on $25,000 and so on and so forth. Anything that you make, there is a point in your life where you made less. Now, you could say, Joe, I'm committed. I've got kids and I've got this house and I got this mortgage and I've got this car payment and I've got all these things. Time to create margin, my friend. Take some of those things that you have that you're committed to and find a way to get by and create more margin for yourself. Maybe you need to sell that house and get a smaller one. Move into a cheaper neighborhood. Get a cheaper car that's better on gas, right? Not as flashy. Maybe there's 1,000 of them driving around, but go get that Prius or go get that, that Impala or that car that's going to be cheap to fix, cheap to drive. It's not going to be flashy, not going to be fancy. Maybe even drop the leather seats. Maybe even drop all the stuff that you don't need. We all want to feel good, right? We all want to do something to create this environment where we feel good. That's why people spend $5 or $6 on the Starbucks, because it makes them feel like $1 million.
Yep.
It makes them feel good. Is that contributing towards wealth? Is it contributing towards growth? It really, really isn't. All of you know, you smoke a pack a day, you're buying a Corvette in 4 years, right? It's a brand new Corvette in 4 years or a pack a day. Which one is it going to be? You drink a cup of coffee a day, same thing, right? We all have these things that we do. It's so easy to create margin. The hard part is you letting it go and you understanding that I need to create new habits, new expectations for myself, because there is more knowledge and ability out there than there has ever been. Here's the second part. This is why the second part is so hard. People are so egotistical and prideful that they struggle to submit themselves. When I say submit themselves, I mean to be humble and go learn from someone that knows more than you. Men especially are like this. Men want to feel like men. We don't need directions. We know where we're going. We don't need this. We got it covered. I'm strong enough to do this. I'm able enough to do this. And so the men have a big challenge there, because it's tough for guys to reach out to other men or other people and say, I need something you have. I need your wisdom. I need your knowledge. I need your experience. So the second part of this is finding a tribe, finding a clan, surrounding yourself with a group of people that are ahead of you, and that are on the path. Maybe they're a year ahead, maybe they're 5 years ahead, but finding those people and contributing value. These people, you can't expect these people to just give to you. You have to find a way to contribute value to them, to sow back into their life in a way that they might need, right? And so that is what I was good at Etch, was into this. I really, and again, I haven't made the big time. I am a very blessed man, though. I'm a very, very blessed man, and it's just principles that I abide by and I live by. And right now I'm in the throes of every other parent. I want to pass those principles on to my kids. I want them to mean something. I don't want them to end with me, right? I want them to continue, and I want to learn more. I invest, and I'm going to speak some numbers here. I spent almost $30,000 in 2020 on one coach for one area of my life. Almost $30,000. It is the easiest money I have ever spent, because I am cognizant of the value of knowledge and experience. We are blessed to be in a world where there are so many people that have gone before us and invented the wheel and have been successful. And knowledge is more accessible through Zoom and through media and through YouTube and through all these channels. You can educate yourself so freely. It's easy to go, what I could have done with that 30,000. What am I doing right now? Right? I could take the 30 and go to Cabo and live great for 4 or 5 weeks and blow it all. Sure. Right? I could go to the casino and have a great time, put it all on black. I could take it and I could do some investment around here, right? Throw it here and throw it there. Maybe it gives me a return. But the greatest investment I could ever make is into this, is into me, is into my mind, is into my heart, is into myself, and how I can change, how I can get someone else to look at me and say, Joe, I'm really getting to know you, and I see this bad habit, right? I see this thing you're doing that's cutting your feet out from under you. It's wasteful of your time. It's wasteful of your money. It's wasteful of your resources. Let's redirect that energy. Let's redirect those finances. Let's redirect those resources to a place that's going to impact you for years and years to come. This is what people don't do. They don't do it. They can't wrap their head around it because they hear it and they repeat it and they say, yeah, that sounds great. They walk out the door. They do the opposite every single day. They do the opposite. It gets me fired up because I have people that come in every day for the last, it'll be 15 years in January that I've been a licensed agent. And the thousands of people that have come through my phone and my texts and my emails in my office that, you know, they're in their 30s and their 40s and their 50s, and we've all been through rough things, but I've been there. I have been there. I grew up with a really rugged background, nothing at all. I'm not from here. I was born in a log cabin with no running water, no electricity, and no money, no nothing. My dad made $11,000 a year cutting wood. I mean, it was rough. And so, going from that, there was a valuable piece of mindset there, though, that I carried away with me. And that's why we see immigrants coming to our country that were born with nothing and have nothing. And the next thing you know, in 5 and 10, 15 years, they're VPs, they're hedge fund managers, they're business owners, because they understand margin and leverage. They understand, I just made margin. I'm not going to go out and blow it. I don't care what they're doing. I don't care what society wants and expects of me as an American, right? What the American dream is, right? I'm going to create my own dream. I'm going to stay connected to me and to myself. I'm going to live within myself. I'm not going to live above my means. I'm going to create means. I'm going to create margin, and then I'm going to leverage it. This country provides so many ways to leverage your money. So many opportunities. It is absolutely incredible. People want to get rich quick, though. Do you know why when the lottery hits $3 billion, the next week it's 600?
It's because everybody wants to dive in on it.
It's 300 million. The next week it's 600 million.
It's crazy.
The next week it's $1 billion, because everyone goes, this is my way out, right?
Yep.
Now, who wouldn't want $1 billion? Who wouldn't want to try to win it? The odds are astronomical.
Yep.
But the mindset drives people so much, right? Because it's a way to get out. It's a way out. I am telling you, you have a way out. There is a way out. You can create margin and you can find leverage in your life in the next week. If it's $1, it's $1. I don't care. $1 leads to 2, 2 leads to 4, 4 leads to 8, 8 leads to 16, and you could double that less than 30 times and you're at $1 million. Okay? You double a penny. You start with a penny and you double. I think it's 29 times is over $1 million. And so, that really is, in a nutshell. This is such a heavy topic. There's so much more I could say, but I really don't want to say more. I really want to say those two things. And if you want to know, I could sit here and talk about leverage all day long. The truth is, if I say leverage, here's how our minds work right now. The vast majority of people, I say leverage, and then I follow it with buy a car wash. Immediately, 99% of people, I can't buy a car wash. I can't do that, right? Anything I say on here, you're going to go, I can't do that, right? That is the boundary right there. That's the line in the sand. People have a little margin, then they go, I can't invest. I don't have enough. I see all these people around me, and that's because we look around, we see people that have what we want, that are more successful, and we'd rather go, they got lucky, they inherited it, I'm unlucky. I wasn't cut out for that. You got to, my friends know this. I'm the most unlucky guy. I am extremely unlucky. I never win anything, lottery, luck, anything. I mean, casinos are where my money goes to die. Okay. It goes to die. I don't hit anything. I remember this one time about 5 years ago, I won like $250. Yeah. I was so I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Because I lose everything, right? I go like once a year and I come out of there. You know how I feel when I come out of there? It's rocket fuel for me. I come out of there so firing mad because that casino just took $100 from me. And that's usually what I go with, $100. Yep. I go and I play blackjack or something like that, have a little fun with friends. It doesn't matter. I have fun, but I walk away fired up mad because, and I'm like, I'm going to go friggin' sell 10 houses tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm going to get this. I got to get this money back. Right. I just blew it on nothing.
Yep.
Right. And so does this mean I don't eat ice cream? That's not what this means. Right. What it means is I got to a point where I could say, you know what? Here's some things that I'm going to do to bless myself, take care of myself, take care of my wife, take care of my friends, take care of my family. So the leverage, margin, leverage, generosity. I don't know what your dream is out there. I don't know what your goals are. My goal is generosity. That is my dream. My dream is to be able to give and give and give and be able to be generous with my time, generous with my talents, generous with my finances, and not have to worry if my family's going to be okay or if I'm going to be okay. That is my goal. All right. So everyone's got a different goal and a different dream, but you have to find the dream. The dream is what carries you forward. It's what drags you forward, because for every great day, there have been awful days. There have been days I have been in the mud and in the ditch and beat down, and people have mocked me and people have kicked me and people have all those things, whether it's physically, whether it's psychologically, all of it has happened. And it's going to happen. It's going to keep happening, because the more success you find, the more people point at you and people criticize you and critique you. We've had some people, you and I were talking about this. We've had some people, even like this show or things like this, like, who does he think he is? What is he doing?
Right. I
don't think I'm anybody. I'm having fun, guys. I'm having fun, and I'm blessed to be able to enjoy this. And I'm going to learn more tomorrow. I'm going to learn more tomorrow, and hopefully I'll get on here and share some of it. And I do not know it all. There are people on YouTube you can click over and click down and find people way better at everything than me, way better. And I love those people. I want to learn from them. I want to grow from them. But that's how you get anywhere, right? So back to the three things. Number one, I hope you walk away from this podcast, and I hope it means something to you. I hope it has an impact on you, and I hope that you create some margin in your life, right? Margin with your finances and margin with your time, because you're going to need that margin with your finances and margin with your time, because then you want to take those two and you want to invest it in finding where you're going to create leverage. When I say leverage, this is what I mean. Cash, investment, finances, it's cheaper to borrow than it's ever been, and it's got more leverage and more power than it's ever had, okay, out there in the world. Right? So many opportunities, so many things you can do. So if you've got $10 a month you can free up, there is a way for you to take that $10. And I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm not going to sit here and give you ideas, because what happens is people want someone else to give it to them all. You've got to be a seeker. You've got to be a seeker. You got to go out and find it, right? You got to take that $10 and say, I'm going to Google, what can I do with $10, right? And then look through it, do your research, right? You got to have that margin with your time and your money. Both those things. You take those margins, you go out and you create leverage with that money. And as you create leverage, it creates more leverage. It is a domino effect. That is how money works. Is and for a simple analogy, you buy a building, right? And you pay the building down. You put 20% down on this building that you buy for $100,000. Now you owe 80. You work on the building. You fix it up in your spare time with your spare cash, because you're renting it out or you're using it or you're making a little money off of it, right? So you're paying the building off. So 2 or 3 years later, now you owe $70,000 or $75,000, and now the building is worth $120,000. So what did you just do? You created leverage, my friend. So now you take that leverage. Now you went from having $20,000 in equity, and now you have $40,000 to $50,000 in equity. So now what can you do? Now you go and get a line of credit, right? This is what you could do. You could sell it and walk away with your profit and start all over again. Or you take that, what's hopefully a better building, a more valuable building, a thriving building, business, whatever it is, and you get a line of credit on it, and you refinance it, and you take that $20,000, that extra $20,000 you now have created, right? And you go buy another building, and you do it. That's just a simple analogy. It's the simple as it gets, right? Simple analogy of leverage, and it takes time and patience and blood and sweat and tears. But what you now have are 2 pieces of leverage instead of 1 piece of leverage. So now you pour your time and your love and your care and your research and your planning into 2 pieces of leverage. And in 2 or 3 years, what do you have now? You have the means to create 4 pieces of leverage. And now you have the means to create 8 pieces of leverage, and so on and so forth. Real estate is a simple analogy. There are thousands, tens of thousands of opportunities and ways to accomplish this principle of leverage. But once you do it, and once you get it, and once you begin to live by it, and you begin to breathe into it and believe in it, you're not just going to inspire your kids and your family and create wealth. You're going to be really happy. You're going to be really peaceful, right? It's a really, really powerful thing. And I have a lot of leverage in my life right now. I'm very blessed, but it all started, it's my 15-year wedding anniversary here in about 6 weeks. 15 years ago, my wife moved into a little single-wide trailer, a 1964 single-wide trailer. This is back when the roofs were round, right? And this one had a little roof over. It had a little shingle roof over on it. And I bought that trailer. That was, I actually sold it a few years ago for $11,000. Okay, if it gives you any idea of what that trailer was like. I would work about 50, 60 hours a week construction. I would come home, I'd get a bite to eat, and I would crawl under my trailer and I would fix all the plumbing that had broken that day, or the electrical that had gone awry that day, or whatever else was going on. And I was in debt on the trailer to the hilt, owed money on it, right? Owed money in my car, owed money on everything that I had, right? We were just getting by, right? Working as hard as we could, doing everything we could. And that is where my journey started, was right there. Now, I had learned a lot of things prior to that, and a lot of it was just good old hard work and gratitude. I was grateful. I was thankful for every opportunity that was given me. Every person that came my way that I smiled at and I said, hey, I got a question for you. How'd you do that? Hey, I have a question for you. How'd you do that? People can't do it. I'm a pianist, right? As a pianist, I take a lot of pride. I love what I do. What happens when another pianist walks into the room and plays my piano better than I could ever play it around my friends, around my family? There's 2 types of people. There's always 2 types of people in that situation. You're either going to feel threatened or you're going to feel inspired. Threatened or inspired. I choose inspiration every time. That's what I want to. I'm not perfect, but I'm saying if you can choose to be inspired in that environment, not just, here's the thing. If you're not going to be inspired, you're never going to create that environment. You're going to stay away from that environment. I'm not going to let that guy that's better than me at that thing come in here and show me up in front of people. It's the opposite. I'm threatened, right? That's that ego. That's that pride. That's that selfishness, right? And as a believer too, following Jesus is easy. Jesus was a really simple dude. He was like, hey, get over yourself, right? It's not that big of a deal, right? Just do the right thing. Be a friend. Love people, right? And so those are really, really simple principles that can really go deep, and they create opportunities of inspiration, right? Over and over again. You will seek them out. You'll look for them. You will admire people that did better than you, that beat you out, right? Beat you out, right? You'll look at it as that's amazing. How'd you do it? Tell me about it, right? If they're not going to tell you, go find someone else that will. We've all got the opportunity. All of you know those people in your life. You know who they are. And you could go anytime and say, hey, I'm not asking for a handout. I'm not asking for you to do something for me for free. All I'm asking is just a couple words, right? Is there anything I can do for you, right? Can I walk your dog? Can I watch your kid? Can I help you here, right? Man, sweet. I would love to help. I value what you just told me so much. Just like I valued the $30,000 that I invested into one coach for just one area of my life. This is not the rest. I've got a lot of things going on. This is one area of my life, right? That I'm like, I want to get this right? So I invested. I don't think about that money. That is the best money I ever spent, Etch. It's the best money I could ever spend because it's investing. I'm investing in myself, in my family, and my business, and my employees who I love and care for so much. How can I help them? How can I sow into them and see a reward in return for them down the road? That's power. That's incredible. And I'm lucky to be able to do it in the small way that I am right now, in my own small little circle and area. I get to have an impact, and it's mind-blowing. Did that help answer your question?
I love the fact that I brought up this topic because I'm going to be straight with you. This is the 26th episode. And in all 25 prior episodes, I have never seen you so fired up and so passionate about a topic.
I get fired up about this stuff.
I felt it in my bones.
Yep.
You, when I was driving over here, you said, Etch, for this episode, I'm going to let you just pick the topic and just come up with it. It took me all but one city block to come up with this topic because I'm like, I know this is going to be the one that's going to be like, it's going to get to him. It's going to be like, let me show you, because you're more passionate about of something that is personal to you.
Yeah.
And I know this is personal to you because you brought yourself out, and that's inspirational. To me, that's inspirational. You know, I'm that guy. And one of the reasons why I brought this up is because this is something that I look to guys like you for, because this is something that's personal to me.
Yeah.
And I know that I have so many friends who are in the same boat right now. You might be in the same boat. You know, COVID took a lot of people out at the knees.
It did.
And dreams and hopes. A lot of people ending it all over this type of thing. And it's not because they're like afraid or anything. They're just like, I don't know what else to do. I have nothing left. My family is done. I may have lost a loved one due to this. I've lost my business. I've lost my livelihood. I don't know where to start again because I forgot what it was like to start from scratch. So on coming over here, I was thinking about it. I'm like, you know, I think that a lot of new listeners, a lot of people who might just be kind of in that medium, right, you know, the median, where they're right about to make that change, about to do it, but they're not sure how to. They're afraid. There's a lot of things in life that we don't, like you said, you don't want to give up. It's the principle of things. It's the discipline, I think, is the biggest thing. And I'm terrible with discipline. I try so hard, and it's something that 40 years old now,
It is.
I'm working on so hard to try to be more disciplined in my life in so many different things. And this is why I'm thankful for Joe. You know, we talk about Thanksgiving and stuff. I'm thankful for Joe and the wisdom that he imparts upon like this type of thing, because we learn so much from him. And just from where he's been, you know, this is the whole thing about this podcast, is just basically helping others. Like he talks about wanting to help. And through this podcast, I believe in my heart that he's helping other people. So you want to talk about Thanksgiving, man? I'm thankful for you and all that you've done for not only me, but also the listeners, through just your going ahead and giving the tips that you do, and just being so generous with your time and just wanting to pick your brain about things.
I enjoy every minute of it, Etch, and I think you know that. I would like to end with a statement from someone familiar to everyone, Will Smith. Love the guy, great guy. But he there's a statement he said. I just looked it up. He says this. He says, "Self-discipline is the center of all material success. You cannot win the war against the world if you cannot win the war against your own mind." And I'll say it one more time. Self-discipline is the center of all material success. You cannot win the war against the world if you cannot win the war against your mind. And that is the biggest and most important part of what we're made of, is our mind and how we view the world, how we view ourselves, how we view others. It all comes down to that. How we view the world, how we view ourselves, how we view others. And so I hope everyone listening, everyone watching got a little something good out of this. And yes, I do get fired up about it. But going to wake up tomorrow. It's a new day. And just going to hit it again, create some more margin, some more leverage, and be able to be more generous.
And the first step in that is that Joe, before we went on, said that he wants to give away $5,000 to the No, I'm just kidding. To start you on your margin. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I'm your lottery ticket, baby. Well, yeah.
No, but do please follow us over there on the Book of Faces.
Yeah. Snapface. Is that what it is? Over on Facebook, you can like us, follow us there. We're definitely posting there on Instagram. Also, Instagram Reels. We're getting into that a little bit. We're getting better at this graphics game. It takes some time. but it's all the same stuff we're talking about, right? And then over on YouTube, if you want to get the full experience, you want to watch us and hear us, go to YouTube, subscribe to our channel, like us, and drop a comment. We'd love to hear from you. If we made any difference at all, it would mean the world to me if you dropped a comment. So all of you the best. I'm the Broker Joe. Thanks for listening to The Broker Show, and we're over and out.